Welcome again to another episode of Bonus Time. I'm your host, Matt Salem, and today I'm talking to Justin Shaw, best known for...
making sweet love to all the pretty ladies in the world.
Just kidding. Maybe I'm not. Best known for comedy, I think.
I hope.
I run the Wrath of Shaw comedy show at Patty McSwiggan's. I perform stand-up, and sometimes I perform with the improv group Thunderstruck Improv. They're a regular mainstay at the Wrath of Shaw comedy show.
And he cuts chili and fries.
Chili fries.
So yeah, as he mentioned, he has started the first ever comedy show that I know of in this town, the Justin Shaw comedy variety show.
Wrath of Shaw Comedy Ding Dong.
Comedy Ding Dong. But yeah, so Justin, this is the first time I've ever seen something like this here in town. I'm from Toronto, where this is like a common place to find comedy shows and varieties of comedians going up and doing their bit along with maybe a skit or two. So I want to start off right off the bat. Tell me why we should be coming to your comedy show today. It's today, right? At Patty McSwiggan's?
It is today, July 26th, Sunday, 8 p.m. Be there. Sunday, the Sabbath day.
And this will be posted far beyond this day. It'll probably be on Wednesday.
So,
after this.
check the internet. Come in August, maybe.
Yeah. There's still a lot of shows to catch before the summer is done. So, yeah. Tell me, why should we be coming to this show tonight?
Well, Matt, no, for real. You kind of said it yourself. There's really not a whole lot like this in the community. This show is put on by community members, people who are experienced in comedy or have an interest in comedy and they want to develop their skills. So there's really nothing like it. So it's at the very least, it's worth checking out at least once.
Yeah, totally.
I just wanted to be able to put on a comedy show here. And I didn't, at first, I didn't think it would be, a huge deal. It's just it's just another thing that's happening in town, but it seems like not a whole lot's going on in the summer for adults,
Yeah, when I first heard about it, I heard about it from my friend Zach, who was recently on the show from Thunderstruck Improv. They're also going to be there tonight doing some improv, as well as myself, actually, for the first time. Yeah, for the first time, I'm going to be performing in front of a crowd since high school. It's
changed, man.
Yeah, I know.
The game has changed,
man.
It's
totally changed.
Yo, game recognized game. Nah, man. You'll be fine. Just listen, be open, have fun.
Oh, totally. No, I've had a lot of experience now with the Thunderstruck Improv group. I've been attending pretty much all of their sessions at the college and having a great time with those guys. But I feel like we're kind of in the same bracket here when it comes to. You're not from Fort McMurray originally, right?
No, I am not.
No.
I am originally from Prince Edward Island.
Okay.
Grew up on the eastern part in a little nugget called Montague.
Oh, Montague. I've heard
the
of
Montague and the Capulets.
Oh,
That's actually where it was set.
Oh, really, eh?
Yeah. Shakespeare's from P.E.I. Well,
That makes so much sense now.
Why
it's so hard to understand what he's saying.
To be or not to be? Last question. No, I'm from Prince Edward Island. In my late teens, I moved to Charlottetown to go to school.
Okay.
While I was at the University of Prince Edward Island, I studied history, but I minored in theater. That's the only they only had it as a minor. And gradually it went from, I'm just going to dabble in it. Okay, I'm just going to do a few shows. Okay, I really like this. Okay, screw it. I'm in this. I'm, as the kids say, balls deep. I'm in this. Can't kid myself. And as soon as I just let go and just said, this is my future. This is my life.
Yeah.
That's when the work improved. That's when it became even more fun, when I didn't think it could be more fun.
And that's when you thought to yourself, I'm going to go to Fort McMurray, Alberta.
That's where the money is.
And share with them all of my comedy prowess.
People think you go there for work. No. It's where the business is, the show business.
Exactly.
Kid, you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
But you know what? It kind of is like that in the way that I came from Toronto area, Brampton to be more precise, B-Town represent.
Yo.
Anyways, I was there. I used to work for video game companies like Xbox and Nintendo out there, doing a lot of guerrilla marketing, all that kind of stuff. And then I moved here to Fort McMurray, and there wasn't really anything like that here. And I thought to myself, I'm like, when I first got here about 4 years ago now, oh my God, it's been like 4 years. When I got here about 4 years ago, I said to myself, I'm like, you know what? We have a huge, at that time, a very large male population in comparison to the female. And I'm like, and no one's out here playing video games? What is going on?
They are. They're just not telling anybody.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
in the basement.
I don't want to be a nerd.
That's
gay.
We're not we're not doing any big like video game events. And I feel like you probably did the same thing when you came here. You're like, there's all these people here, and they have nothing to entertain them at a bar late at night and make them laugh.
Yeah, what really struck me was how, what's the word I want to use? Affluent, how big the theater scene was. 'Cause I know Keanu's done some great stuff in the past, and they have great resources up at the school, and I'm just like, why does this stop in the summer? And that's the only time of the year I'm here. That's just between school for me. I come here for the summer to make some money. But while I was here my first summer in 2014, last year, I don't know why I had to be so specific with the date, 2014. That's actually the 2014 is actually the year 20,000.
Oh, well,
so that's too far.
That's far too far.
Anyway, I came here and I just wanted to work, but it just struck me that they have all these theater, performing arts resources, and I'm sure it's to me to catch up with the demand of all these performers and people who are interested in theater arts and performing arts culture. So why is nothing happening? It was kind of just a thought that I had.
Exactly.
And as the end of the summer rolled around, I think I was leaving in about a week. I said, if I do come back next summer, I want to do comedy. I don't care where. I don't care how. I want to be doing comedy in whatever form, whether that's sketch, improv, or stand-up. Let's get it going. And it was Jennifer Townsend that I bounced a lot of these ideas off of.
Oh, yeah.
And the early concept of this comedy show was it was going to be set at Volcom, the clothes store.
Oh, nice.
In the
fairly new store in town, actually, when you think about it.
We wanted to do jokes in the back of the shop next to the changing room. Because clearly when I want to buy some slacks and here's some grade A comedy.
You had to fill that void,
right? That's a void no one could have dreamed of.
That was a real quote from a customer, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But eventually when I came back, it was, okay, if we're going to do this, is this the most practical setting? And then we thought maybe a bar setting might free up the content a little bit.
Yep.
Might attracted not necessarily a preferred clientele, but people who want to be there.
So I'm guessing when you were at Volcom, like you kind of had to restrict what you could say a little bit. You had to kind of be like a G-rated audience.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't really say what you really wanted to say.
Had to
and
really
you
sugarcoat
said,
it.
Fuck that.
Yo, fuck that shit.
I'm going to go do it at a bar where I can say wherever the fuck I want.
Everyone's just drinking. There's like, did he just drop the F-bomb? I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, the room's full of newfies anyways, and they're just like, bye.
This common vernacular for us Maritimers.
Exactly.
What were we talking about?
Oh, we're talking about you moving from Volcom to a bar. And what was the first bar you were working at before? You're at Patty McSwiggan's playing later on tonight, but you were somewhere else before that?
Yeah, we were at Tavern on Main. They offered us a roof for our first show, and we performed there. Content was great and great feedback, but just something I heard from the fellow performer, something I agreed with was just the layout of the space didn't accommodate that well. And
I saw it there as well, and the stage at the Tavern on Main is pretty small.
Yeah.
It's really more made for maybe one person to go up there with a guitar, or one person to go up there tell some jokes. But when you have the sideshow of Thunderstruck Improv running around and jumping up and down, it's kind of a hard sell. And I mean, even the layout of the restaurant itself, like they have this kind of like partition halfway through the restaurant, and it kind of makes for like a weird atmosphere. But I mean, that was their choice. I mean, I'm not here to be an architect and design their restaurant for them.
Well, I am, Matt. I'm a barchitect. Design bars. That joke's awful. The comedy show will be better than that joke.
I'm not cutting that joke out. By the way.
Great.
I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna actually like repeat it. It's gonna be like bar joke.
Like Porky Pig. That's all, folks.
What was it that made you reach out to Thunderstruck Improv to kind of go on the show with you? Because it was originally kind of like a one-man show, right? Where you were just going to kind of do your own jokes, or was this in the plan the whole time?
It being a one-man show was my worst nightmare. If I'm going to do this, I ideally didn't want it to be the Justin Shaw wank fest, where it's just me. It's like, everyone, hear my jokes, the same jokes, over and over, which I'm pretty sure is like a corner in purgatory for some people of certain religious beliefs. They die, and they have to go and listen to my material on an endless loop, making P.E.I. jokes forever, till the end of time. Just kidding, time is an illusion. Anyway, what happened was I wanted to put on a comedy variety show. I wanted to get comedy acts together, people who were interested in performing, if that meant getting interested improvers together to meet, practice, play some games, that would be great. I didn't really have a full form in mind for the show when I initially sent out the notice, only because I wanted to tailor what the show would be based on who wanted to be involved. And so that's a pretty big gamble. It's very up in the air.
So was it Thunderstruck that kind of reached out to you, or was it you that found them?
It was. I'm not really sure. It was kind of what came first, the chicken or the egg. But I wanted to do a comedy show, like just open-ended statement comedy show. What do you got? I'm gonna be in it. I'm gonna tell jokes. If people want to do improv, I can do improv with them. But I just want to see what was out there. But I guess while this was happening, Zach and Dave of Thunderstruck, they've been wanting to find an outlet for their improv group, and they hadn't really started the practices yet. It was just kind of, I'm not sure of the exact details. I think they had spaces up in the air. They weren't sure what was going to happen, but eventually we crossed paths, and I think that middle person was Jen Townsend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go Jen.
Yeah, saving the day, Jen.
She sent Zach's contact info to me. We chatted a little bit. He said, I got an improv group. Can we perform? And I'm absolutely. Have a yes?
Of course.
And then they started the practices within days of our first meeting. And I went, and there was like 30 people. That's crazy.
Yeah. It was it was a really good turnout almost every time.
Yeah.
I mean, you also have another comedian I saw at one of your shows, Newfie Neal was there.
Neal.
And that guy, I've seen him before perform in town, and he's hilarious.
He's a funny dude. The Beast from the East. And
what he goes by?
No, I call him that.
I wish you did now, because that's amazing.
Sounds like a Japanese prize fighter when I call him that. But anyway, Newfie Neal, he came out. He reached out to me. He said, "Hey, if you're doing a comedy show, let me know. I'll save the date."
Yep.
It was great. He'll call me every so often. We'll just have a chat about what he's up to, how the show's doing. So he's invested, not on any like financial or professional basis, just as a fellow comic in the community who knows how hard it can be.
I know he's performed at stuff like Bailey's Pub before. Yeah. And I've seen his material, and that's probably the next guy I want to get on this show, because he's hilarious.
Oh, man.
I'm definitely going to reach out to him and see if he's interested in just talking about what he does.
Yeah, for sure.
And what his involvement is like, and what he's looking to do in the future for sure. But was this something that you were doing back in PEI as well, or was this like it was kind of hard to break into the comedy scene there, and you're like, no, Fort McMurray is where I gotta go for the comedy shows.
Reinvent myself.
Yeah, I gotta go do this in the oil sands. That's where I gotta go.
I'm gonna move to Fort McMurray. I'm gonna start a comedy show. I'm gonna wear a denim vest.
Profit?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, when I was on Prince Edward Island, as I was working on my undergrad, keen little 19-year-old Justin, 2011.
Wow, you were old back then.
I was 1,000,000 years young. Anyway, I was 19. Me and my best friend Ben, we got an invitation to get an improv group together for our university, perform at the local pub. And so that was our introduction into improv comedy. We had no training, no real experience. So we did a handful of shows there, entertained our classmates. They had a laugh, but I mean, cheap jokes, ridiculous things were going on stage. And eventually, we just got so busy, we're just like, do we want to keep doing this, or do we want to get, like, better? Like, do we actually want to hone our skills? Because do we want to be a good improv group, or do we want to be the only improv group at our university? You know, does that make sense?
Exactly. No, I totally get it. Was it always about improv for you though, or did you do like kind of like side shows? And I know back in high school for myself, I was in the Sears Drama Festival, and I played Romeo, which is not what you're thinking. I tell people, oh, I played Romeo, and they're like, oh my god, that's amazing. I'm like, actually, no. I played Romeo in a play called Happy Ending, which is where they took all of the Shakespeare plays and put a happy ending to it. So for mine, the happy ending for Romeo and Juliet was Romeo and Juliet lived. Spoiler alert.
Oh my.
But they lived and had many, 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 many children. And I kind of came out, and I'm pushing like 7 strollers, and like she's pregnant with another one in front of me, just whipping me basically. Just, come on, we got to get to the show, and we got to get to the mall. And
what's a happy ending for Othello? Just no Iago at all.
Yeah, he's just not in the whole thing.
Macbeth would be Banquo and Macbeth standing by the witches. You will be king. You will be the father of kings. Banquo. Oh, Macbeth, our kids are going to get married. Oh, I get it now.
Oh, it totally makes sense. Joan of Arc eventually realized her dream of modeling.
Ah, yes.
As it were, we got a very large man to be Joan of Arc in our play. I'll never forget that image. Never forget how naked he was. But yeah, besides that, anyway. I mean, I used to be in just assorted plays back in Brampton. Call it to Remote Control. Anyone who was back in that, where I played a talking cat who was also a prince named Fido. Remote Control 2 was basically like the improv game Remote Control,
right,
where you can go forward and back in time, except they made that into its own standalone play.
Oh,
and
cool.
It was great, except for the fact that there was one scene that required me to. I think I may have mentioned this already in Zach's podcast, and if I did, I'm going to have to edit this out. But we had to go backwards in time during one of our rehearsals, and I went. They told us that don't run backwards. Like, just turn around and go backwards through where you went. And I said, oh, no, I can do it backwards. Don't worry. So I ended up going head over heels back over the stage, falling on my ankle and, like, turning it, like, 90 degrees.
Oh.
It was brutal. Like, my ankle was the size of a freaking grapefruit by the end. But you know what? I still got back up on that stage, and I finished that scene. I mean, I had to get 2 guys to carry me off of the stage, but still, I finished that. Thanks a lot, Daryl, by the way, if you ever listen to this.
Yeah, thanks, Daryl.
Yeah, but so going back to you.
Right. That was funny.
Was it always about improv, or did you do side bits like that as well?
For me, it was always just about comedy.
Okay.
I got my foot in the door through improv from the university group. We were called the Suspenders.
Nice.
can I tell the quick story?
Yes,
as to
of
how we got
course.
that name?
Of course you can.
All right. Shout out to Ben Hartley back home. We were in our apartment. We just got the word that we were invited to do an improv show. We needed a name. And so he said, why don't we name ourselves after the thing that made us laugh the hardest in recent memory, which is an awesome way to name a show, just FYI.
Yeah.
So we remembered back, it was like 2 days prior, we were watching Family Feud at like 2 p.m. on a Wednesday or something, just early afternoon, two unemployed dudes. We're watching Family Feud, and it's Steve Harvey.
Oh, okay.
Who's in my opinion, top shelf host. He calls bullshit on all these terrible suggestions. Topic is things you don't want to see your father wearing. The Jenkins family. All right, Mr. Jenkins, what is the one thing you don't want to see your father wearing? And he, without skipping a beat, shouts, "Suspenders!" And the show went silent, and then gales of laughter. I was in pain from laughing so hard because that's such a bizarre statement. Anyway,
It really is.
so we're the Suspenders. The two of us from our group were picked to be in this other improv group called the Popalopalots, which is a fun name to say.
I don't even. How would you even spell that? Papa.
Popalopalots. I know that because I made a lot of posters for them back in the day and had to color each letter individually.
Oh my god.
So many P's, so many O's.
Yeah.
Anyway, as we're doing that, I met this guy, Taylor Carver, who was a comedian on P.E.I. I think he's moved to Toronto since. He said, "Hey, you're pretty funny. Do you want to try writing some material and doing stand-up?" And I said, "Sure." So I just took a story that I'd been telling before and branched a few jokes off of the main story, and that became my first stand-up set. And it went off really well. I was asked after my first bar show if I wanted to do like a show at a theater, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like just like the opening act, like taking the bullet. But still, for me, that's like, "Oh my gosh, I've made it."
Yeah, I've made it. Right, I've made it. I'm on stage in front of all these people.
I've made it. And then as time went on, me, Ben, and this other fellow, Cameron McDonald, we were in the Popalopalots, and we've been sitting on our hands. We've been wanting to do sketch comedy where we write our own material, and we're heavily inspired by two sketch veterans who were in the Popalopalots, Rob McDonald and Graham Putnam.
I love how much that word is being used.
Popalopalots.
Popalopalots.
Poopalapadoos, as some parents have been wont to call us. That's not even easier to say.
Yeah, it's just slightly different syllables.
Yeah. So we did sketch, and they're still going. It was one night, inebriated at a party. Me and Cameron hanging out in his bedroom. Weirder things could have happened, I guess. But he's just like, "Dude, you're moving to Fort McMurray." It's a terrible impression of him. I'm sorry, Cameron. Dude,
you're also getting Adele.
Yo, Dave's not here, man.
Anyway, he's like, "Where you're going?" I'm like, "Yeah, you guys will have fun, though, eventually." But then it was just, no, let's do it. And we planned a show in 2 months.
Wow.
Wrote it, filmed it, threw it up on its feet.
So you filmed that as well. Is that up on the internet somewhere, or
maybe.
somewhere you want to talk about?
Maybe. It independently, the film footage doesn't quite work on its own because we would do a staged sketch, and then as we prepared for the next stage sketch, we would project a video sketch, which would sometimes pick up where the stage stuff left off. So it was multimedia, and I'm gesturing with my hands, and as I talk, I realize they can't see this. I could be making a bird symbol for all I know.
He's just flipping me off.
I
Like,
could be doing the
constantly.
Nazi salute for all you know.
Just constantly giving me the middle finger.
Yep.
The whole time.
But the big reason coming out here was the work, right? My girlfriend lived here.
Totally.
And she said we have a great spot set up. I live with her and her father. We're getting by great, and the big choice was I'm a student. Like thousands, millions of students across Canada, student loan debt.
Yeah.
I need to work, and I got to help pay this off eventually. But I also had auditioned for the National Theatre School in Montreal, and it was like every other actor worth their salt who wants to pursue it like big time. They audition, right? You toss your coin in the wishing well.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, okay, see what bites. I get a call back. And they're like, oh, okay, that's cool. This will be terrifying. So I'm going to Fort Mac, potentially saving up for a future, either like life future or paying off school, because you can't work while you're at the National Theatre School. You don't have the time.
Too much. It's just too much.
And then I got in, and that's when the world went crazy. I was like,
and so when was this?
This was 2014. I got in, I think it was June 1st.
Oh, okay.
I only know because that's a day that I could probably tell you every detail about that day. Woke up in my underpants, phone ringing. Hello? Like, hi, is this Justin? Like, yeah, hi. It's like, well, I'm just wondering if you'd like to be part of the National Theatre School. And
I imagine they had a bit more of a Frencher accent, though. I mean, coming from Montreal, right?
Well, the English side of the school.
Is Justin there?
No, I can't make French accents anymore because I have a lot of Quebecois friends, and I know a lot of people that would get really mad. Like, they'd make me separate. That's how mad they get.
Nice. I like that.
But Lisa Palmer, the AD of the English acting program, she called me up and asked me, and I was in a cold sweat. I freaked out. I was like, I think I actually said, "Are you serious? Like, are you sure? You know,
just check it again. Just
you
make
know,
sure.
I do sketch comedy, right? Like, we want you." And I said, "Of course," and hung up the phone, freaked out, still in underpants. Ashley doesn't even have to ask. My girlfriend Ashley, she doesn't even have to ask. She knows. I tried to make a pot of coffee. I spilled water everywhere.
Just shaking already. You haven't even taken the coffee in.
I'm tweaking. Turned on TV. Turned on TV. The TV.
It was a voice command TV.
TV, activate.
Responding.
Because it's 2014.
Yeah,
Year
of
20,000.
course. Yeah.
Turn on TV. Fight Club is on. I remember the exact scene. Tyler Durden holds the gun to Raymond J. Kessel's head and says,
Spoiler alert.
Raymond, what did you want to be? And I'm like, I'm going to be an actor just like you, Brad Pitt. And ran around, still in my underpants. Then Despicable Me 2 came on. It was like the movie channel playing random movies all in some weird order. And then the Happy song came on, and I'm dancing. I'm like, yeah, Pharrell Williams, I love you. This song's about me. So what became just working here just to make a living became working here to afford school. And if I had the creative bug nipping me in the neck the whole time, it was like clawing at me at that point.
Yeah.
And so I said, if I'm coming back, I have to keep going. I have to keep doing stuff. And now I am. And to go back to an earlier question or comment about you wouldn't think of this place as a spot to start up, like to break into the biz.
Totally.
As someone who wants to do a startup, independent thing, like of any variety,
I know where you're going with this, and I love it.
You can really build like a following, an audience, a repertoire, like so much material.
Oh, totally. I was having the same conversation with my buddy Steve, who was on episode 2 of this podcast, and we were saying that, a lot of people don't give Fort McMurray the credit it deserves in the way that, like, when you want to break into something, myself included, I'm doing this podcast. I've gotten so many good, so much good feedback, so many good comments from people that I know, and I feel like if I was doing this back in Toronto, I would just be, up in the clouds.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much to compete with out there.
Exactly.
Whereas out here, there's not much going on in the way of the arts, especially.
Yeah.
The arts, especially, and media and performance. There's not much going on. Like, I mean, there is stuff going on. I don't want to take down what is happening, but there is stuff going on, but not nearly as much as something you'd find in a city like Toronto or a city like Vancouver. So you're totally right when you say that. Like, if you want to start up something like this, Fort McMurray is a good place to do it. It's just it's hard in the way that it's a bit more expensive to live up here. But if you can get yourself a job up here, getting paid enough that you can live off of that,
right?
You have so much opportunity. All you need to do is grasp it.
And I would suggest find what resources are available in the community.
Oh, yeah.
Don't say no. Be open to new experiences. I think something lucky about this show was early on, I didn't, not to say I didn't have a clear vision, but my vision was I want to shape this show based on what's already here and kind of up and coming. And Thunderstruck, man, like, holy, this group is so fun. They're so entertaining.
Yeah.
And it sounds like I'm gushing, but really, this show would not exist if that kind of collaboration never occurred. And these people, they live here. And if I came in and I said, this is going to be the Justin Shaw one-person talking stick show, it would be awful. Yeah. It would be so bad.
And it'd be way harder to sell as a show as well. Like to sell a one-person show is hard enough on its own, but to be kind of like the first one to do that in a town like this, it's hard.
No,
it's
hard. Gotta use the community, not use the community, but utilize.
Yeah, utilize them.
Use them for their money.
Take them and use them, right?
But as far as quote unquote selling this show to the community, it's like rolling a ball down a hill. It just goes. People wanna come either participate, they want to come watch because they know someone involved, or there's nothing like it here, and it's not a maverick idea like comedy show. What? No,
exactly.
Not here. Never. Get out of this town. We're gonna run them out of the town.
Exactly, but it is new to the people that are here.
Yeah,
and some people that have been here for a while have been kind of like hungry for something like this, right? And from what I've seen from the shows that I've been to, you're getting a really good response. You have like engagement from the not only the community but the audience that are there.
Yeah,
and I hope that others see this and take inspiration from it to start their own shows as well, because you're not going to be here forever, right?
Well, you never know. Never know, man. Maybe Hollywood will call me and say, we want you to do shows in Fort McMurray for the rest of your life. Clearly, I know how show business works.
Yeah, that's just how it works, right? I mean, I've watched enough BoJack to understand how it goes.
Oh, yeah. Note 1, be a horse. Marry a cat named Princess Carolyn. Carolyn?
Yeah, I think it's Princess Carolyn.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, it's so good.
I've been bugging Ashley, just been like every day. So, and then on BoJack, the horse went up and married an owl.
And Mr. Peanut Butter.
She's like, what the hell are you Mr. Peanut Butter? Is this a porno?
It's an amazing show, honestly. Like, I don't know. We were just talking about it before the show happened because there is an episode about improv, which, I mean, like, I want to recommend the episode, but I can't recommend the episode without recommending the whole show because the show is amazing by itself. But that episode made me just die.
I'm actually here to plug the Wrath of Shaw comedy show and BoJack Horseman on Netflix.
It's amazing.
I'm just a big fan.
So, one more thing I wanted to ask you, if you have a story about it or not. Have you ever had a situation in which you were performing that, just didn't work out, or something happened that really, really irked you, or maybe you forgot your lines or blanked up on there? Like, has anything like that ever happened? I love these kinds of stories.
Plenty of times. I'm trying to pick one. 99% of my shows have been, I call them a success if I get some laughs, I've said all my material, and I feel good about it.
Yep.
I've never had a room give me the complete cold shoulder of, this guy, what are you doing? I've I've been a part of events where just the whole from the get-go, it's been like, this is gonna be bad.
This is a shit show.
I did a Pride in the Park show, which I support the gay community.
Oh, totally.
LGBTQ. You can have more letters if you want.
Z, QRS,
yeah,
TUV.
all of them.
W, X, Y, and Z.
PG-13. I don't
Yeah,
know.
totally.
Element of P. I did a show there once, and it was a variety show, and it was in a park, gorgeous day, people lying on the grass, and they're all partied out from the night before. I'm thinking, do they really want to hear jokes right now, especially from a straight person in a monogamous relationship? Turns out a couple people in the back thought it was hilarious, but I think they just caught wind of what I was saying and stayed and watched. So I gave the show for them. Everyone else was just chilling out.
And so how many people were that? How many people were there? Like
Quite a few.
Oh,
but
okay.
they were just sunbathing. Like, they look like chameleons, just kind of coiled up, just like snuggled. And I'm like, I should have been whispering the jokes to them like a bedtime story. But it was fun. Got to meet some cool people and got to engage with that community. Just as far as the response of a show, I wouldn't want that.
No, totally.
I don't tell jokes so people can go to sleep. Other ones, I did a Canada Day show at the Peter Pond Mall, and I feel confident saying their names, like, only because, like, come on, like, they invited me to do stand up at their mall show, like in the quad area beneath the escalator. I told jokes there, and it was like staring into the gaping maw of insanity. Just like, had a moment of what am I doing? I'm holding a mic, just talking. I just started.
People were walking by, buying their shit.
Yeah, no one wanting to listen. And I was after a group of Indian dancers, and I went on before a group of belly dancers, and they had loud music playing, and they're about 1,000,000 times prettier than I am. For those of you who haven't met me and are listening to this, I'm actually 6'5", 250 pounds, really muscly.
Yeah, totally accurate.
And then I did a show in Montreal, open mic, and no one came.
Oh.
Like, the bar was empty. There were 4 other comics, and it was a very long bar. They were at the back getting drinks, going over their own material.
This was here in town, or?
No, it was Montreal.
Oh, okay,
Montreal.
Okay.
I did a set there, and it was like my back pocket set, the one I'll take to different shows. And I said it, and I actually had a moment of like, oh, they're not laughing. And then it was like, slap myself. Like, there's no one here. What? It was like a comic talking to nobody. It was like a sad painting. Just like, what am I doing? And then this other guy,
sad painting.
Chris Sandiford, I believe is how you pronounce his name. I've seen him a couple times. He's so funny. He goes up full energy and goes, yeah, you know what I love about no audience members is the fact you can just imagine your favorite people in the audience. Captain Hook, how are you? Angelina Jolie, what brings you to town? He was so funny.
Oh, man. That's a good way to recover, though, from something like that.
Oh, so good.
That's the way you got to do it. I mean, like, when you don't have an audience, you got to build your own audience, right?
Imagine. Improv an audience. Improv.
Anyway, it seems that we're getting close to the end of the show here, and I want to thank you again for coming on the show and talking about all of your adventures in comedy.
Adventures out there. It's been a lot of fun, man. We kind of just story on top of story on top.
Exactly.
There's a point I think I actually said, what was the question?
Yeah, no. And that's exactly what I want to get to. I just want it to be a natural flow conversation full of stories and life experiences. But now we get to the part where we have to fight. And it's a super fight.
Well, prepare to die is all I can say.
Anyone who's familiar with the show will know at the end of each show, I always challenge my guests to a round of Super Fight. And for those who are tuning in for the first time, Super Fight has us take a few cards, some which are character cards and some that are attribute cards. And we have to justify to you, the audience out there listening to us right now, who we think would win in a fight between we have. I'm just looking at my cards here now, and I have not had very good luck with any of my guests so far as getting good cards that would justify someone winning a fight. But you being the guest, you get to go first.
Well,
so
you want my character then quality? In that order?
Give me your character, give me your quality, and we will
fight to the death.
Yeah, we will fight.
Well, all right. I am a unicorn.
Ooh.
So get ready. That in itself is I think that's a character and a quality. I exist in the mythical realm. For those of you that don't know, a unicorn doesn't mean one corn. It means horse with a horn filled with magic.
Yeah.
Where's my unicorn?
And what is its quality?
Is rabid.
Oh.
I am a rabid unicorn.
That is something I have never seen, I can say.
Have you ever seen a unicorn?
Oh, I mean all
rabid?
the time.
Okay.
It's, there's a lot that come out of the waters around the oil sands there, so they just kind of emerge. But I mean, it's going to be hard to fight something that you've never seen before, only heard about in legends.
Oh.
And I mean, I guess it's just the same as a unicorn. A Nigerian prince.
Oh.
Straight from the legends of the internet.
Ah.
Who has feet instead of hands. So that's twice the ass kicking right there is what that is.
Are his feet hands? Like, is it just a complete
he just
switch?
has four feet. So he has feet on his feet, but feet on his hands as well.
So is he like a quadruped? Like, does he?
Yeah, like he's
roam?
basically like a unicorn, except you never see him because you never see a Nigerian prince. So you've only ever heard of them. I feel like that would be my saving grace here. Is you wouldn't be able to see me. You would just know that I exist, and I'd be asking you for money constantly.
Well,
but I could also kick ass with all four of my feet.
Well, the thing is, Nigerian princes, their powers are on the internet. And they have to make use of, ideally, an ergonomically correct keyboard. So I think his biggest asset is his hands. And that quality has robbed him of his greatest strength.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, you are rabid, which is pretty hard to fight with.
That's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, they say if you drink the blood of a unicorn, you have eternal life. If a rabid unicorn drinks your blood, you're gonna die. So you are actually the opposite of immortal. Your life not only ends now, but you previously have never existed.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is some deep shit.
You do not want unicorn rabies.
So,
it's like the Alzheimer's of the mythical animal kingdom. It doesn't just affect you, it affects your whole family.
It affects everything. So, at this point, we usually draw one more random attribute, which could be good, could be bad. Let's see what I got here. I've got a Nigerian prince, has feet instead of hands, and I just drank 5 energy drinks.
Oh.
So, I mean, like, he has feet of fury right now, and there's 4 of them. There's 4 feet just coming at you, like, nonstop. Like, it just looks like a blur.
I might argue that being, after drinking 5 energy drinks, you're probably sexually impotent. So
that's true.
Have fun with that.
That's true. My heart may explode at any moment, so I guess we'll see.
And my extra quality, I haven't looked at it yet, I'm just going to read it, is a venomous bite.
Oh, a rabid unicorn with a venomous bite.
What a tangled web, indeed. The venomous bite of the unicorn.
Yeah, I mean, I've really got to watch out for your rabid, venomous mouth while I'm kicking all of your asses with all of my feet.
See, that's how powerful my rabid unicorn is it predicted the venomous bite coming.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. But I'm going to leave that to you guys out there listening to the show.
Yep.
Who do you think won this fight? Is it a Nigerian prince that has feet instead of hands that just drank 5 energy drinks? Or
is my bark, in fact, worse than my bite? My unicorn that is rabbit. Not rabbit.
It's rabbit also?
It's a rabbit unicorn.
A rabbicorn.
Constantly mating. Pull him out of a hat. Anyway, my unicorn is rabid and has a venomous bite.
So let us know. Tweet at me at itsmattlol, or check us on the Facebook page. Look up Bonus Time on Facebook, or if you want to tweet or contact Justin
at wrath_of_Shaw SHAW. I'm saying it slow, Matt.
That's good.
Because obviously listeners, it's like, oh, I want to write that down. I gotta get a pad. Where did I put that? I'm imagining my mom listening to this. Now
and
my
everyone's
mom
writing down on paper.
Now my mom's gonna go on Twitter and find all the ridiculous things I say. Oh no.
So we'll leave that choice to you guys. Let us know, and we've almost hit our mark of 200 likes on the Facebook page, and once it does, I'm going to be giving out some Comic-Con exclusive swag that I picked up while in San Diego.
Shit.
Once we hit that 200 mark, I'm going to reveal what that prize is, and once we hit 250, I'm going to be giving it out to people who are answering our questions.
Fun fact, I'm looking at it right now. Am I? I don't know. It
No
might
one
be
knows.
In here somewhere.
It's probably in this room. There's a lot of stuff in here.
Take a screenshot of the 200 likes, because you'll be able to say, "Oh, I was among the first 2 husky." And once it's at like 8 million, I don't know. I don't know how the internet works. I just know I put stuff out there and people like it, and yeah.
Awesome. No, I again, Justin, thanks so much for coming by and telling your tale.
My weird
and,
scatological tale.
Hopefully we can have you on the show again, and maybe we'll talk about what it's been like since this time. Right? I mean, like, this is like Inception, basically, of Podception.
I wasn't going to say it, but you pointed it out, so it is. It's a lot like the movie Inception.
It's like, I mean, I'm basically Leo DiCaprio already.
And I'm like Ellen Page, an actor from the Maritimes.
So that's it for this episode of Bonus Time. I'm your host, Matt, and
that's actually how you pronounce my name.
That's Justin Shaw. Thanks again for listening.
Peace.